Hello, welcome to my channel. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you're a subscriber, welcome back. And in this video we are going to be looking at our React series, and in this video I have created this sample blog. It's basically a Medium clone. I'm trying to clone Medium, and I'll be uploading the whole video to my channel later on. So if you're kinda interested in seeing this full blog design, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn on the bells in order to do not miss any updates, and if you find this video interesting, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. So without any further ado, let's see what I have prepared for this tutorial. So in this video, this is a basic design. So as you can see right here, it's a blog with a header, as you can see, and then the hero section, then this button. And in this video I'm going to be showing you how you could change something. Maybe something happens to your header in React, how to change the navbar color in React. So as you can see, if I scroll down to a certain height, my navbar changes color to white, and then this button changes from the background color black to green. As you can see, if I scroll up, it changes back to black. This is kind of the Medium implementation for their header. It's really cool, and I'm going to be showing you how to do exactly this in this video. So without any further ado, let's go into my code editor and we shall start coding. But before we do, take a moment and hit the subscribe button. It really helps me a lot and motivates me to make more video content like this on my channel. So don't forget to subscribe, guys. Let's get into my code editor and let's start writing code. So as of now, what we want to achieve is basically when this header, when we scroll down a bit, this header, basically when we scroll down a bit to a certain height, we want to change the navbar color for this header of ours. So we want to change the button color and the navbar color. So this could be really a good design for your website. You could implement it on your website, and as of now we don't have that, so we are going to be writing code for that. So let's go into our code editor. I have a basic project right here. We have the src folder, the comps, the components, then the pages, the images, and then some dummy static data, as you can see right here, and then some dummy static data, as you can see, with IDs and everything. So we are going to go into our components folder and then open the Navbar.js file where we are going to be performing our logic from. So the idea is to change the color of the navbar on scroll. So what we are going to do, we are going to use what is called state, and state in React, in simple terms, it's a hook. It's a so-called React hook that helps you to manage dynamic variables in your component. It helps you to manage those variables that are going to be changing in your component. So let me show you what I mean. Alright, so in order to be able to use state hook, we are going to import it from React. So we are going to say import use state, my bad, I can type that, use state from React. So if we hit enter, it should auto import it for us. And then after importing our use state, we are going to go into our component, into our function, and we are going to say we are going to declare a constant, and we are going to destructure this. So we'll say fix, and then remember use state takes in two parameters, and that is the current state, the variable of the state, and then the setter function. So we'll say set fix, which will set our fix variable right here. So we'll say it is equal to use state, my bad, I can type that, and then we'll provide in the default value for our variable, and that is false. We are going to use false or truth to check for the window scroll on the page. So the idea is to check whether this header we have scrolled to a certain height, and we will set our state to true. So we are going to go down a bit, and we are going to create a function. We're going to create a function, and we are going to say to call it set fixed. All right, so this is really a bad idea of naming, but let's just call it for now set fixed, and it's going to be a function. So we are going to be checking if we have scrolled to a certain height on the page, and we will on the y-axis, and we will change the state to true. So there is this variable that's called, let's first create an if statement, and there is this variable that's called the window, the so-called global variable, and it has a property that is scroll y. And essentially what scroll y means is you scrolling on the web page on the y-axis. So we are going to measure what you've scrolled on the y-axis, and we will say it's greater than or equal to, in my case the pixels are 392. I want to use 392. You could have 400, you could have 300, you could have 200, whatever. You just want to make sure that you know your pixels for the navbar plus the hero section. So I want, whenever I go beyond the hero section, I change the navbar color. So I'm going to go back, is greater than or equal to 392, and I'm going to set the true, that set a function for the state to true. And alternatively, if it's not, then I want to set it back to false, to the default value, which is false. Okay, so we are done implementing our logic. We are checking if we scroll to 392 pixels down on the y-axis, we are going to set our state to true. Okay, after that we are going to add an event listener to the window. So we are going to say window.add event listener, and it's going to be of type scroll. Okay, and then we will call our function, which is set fixed, right? And we will call our function. So this function is going to execute whenever we do this scroll on the page. Okay, so if we hit save, and then we want to create our class, right? We want to use something, we are going to use a class in our CSS here, right here in the navbar of CSS. And what we are going to do, all right, so let's first create our class, and I'll show you how we are going to do this to set the class right here. So we are going to go into our navbar of CSS, and we will have, so the idea is for us to have a white navbar on scroll. So we are going to go into our CSS file, and we are going to define a couple classes. So we are going to say navbar.fixed, all right, and then we're going to give it a background color of white, and we will give it a little bit of transition in order for it to look nice. So it is in out. All right, and then we are going to change that color for the navbar button. So select it using the fixed. Remember, it has already attained the fixed class. So for the button, we'll give it a background color. We'll give it a background color of green, right? Because remember, I want it to be green on scroll. So let's go back a bit. All right, so nothing right now is happening, but we are pretty much done. We are going to just link that class using a certain if statement, a special if statement in JavaScript. So let's go back here and let's define our if statement. So we are going to be using a so-called ternary operator. So we are going to change everything, and we'll give a class name equal to empty curly braces. So essentially how a ternary operator works is that we have on the left hand side we have the condition, and then on the right hand side we have what we want to be executed, and on the far right hand side we have the else statement. All right, so let me show you what I mean in action. So we want to check if fix. All right, so what we want to essentially do is check if fix is truthy, and if it is, we want to execute a condition. So we are going to put a question mark, and we want to set the class to the Navbar class and the fixed class. Okay, so in the else statement we want to remain with the Navbar class. All right, so if we save this, if we hit save, everything is pretty much clear and done right now. If we go back to our browser, refresh it, okay, and then if we scroll up to 392 pixels, our header changes color. Right, as you can see, it is working, it's really working. We are changing color on scroll to a certain height. All right, so that's it for this video. We've been using React.state and then ternary operator to check for conditions. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'll be seeing you in the next one.